calls for us where I can talk freely. I can talk about what's going on in the world and little politics, a little money, because they all go hand in hand, right? Like politics and everything go hand in hand to what we're us as investors. Let me turn this off here. It goes hand in hand. So you need to know what's going on. So if you guys have been watching, you've been seeing the news. You see what's going on with Israel, Palestine, with the war and what's taking place. I want y'all to think about that as taking the emotions out of it. Taking the emotions out of it and look at it as, how does this impact me as an investor? How do I can't stop it. There's nothing I can do about it. How does that impact me as an investor? How can I make profit? How can I take advantage of the situation on a monetary side? Take advantage. If you guys look at some stocks that involves war, and I meant to write them down today, I put them in our group chat. Those stocks went up 35 to 45%, defense stocks. I want you guys to think about that. Like, just Google defense stocks and look at, you should get one. I don't know if it's lock. I'll put it in our group. You can check it out. But I want y'all to think about that. Why now? Why the coverage now? Why this war, or just little rumbles of war at this particular time? Who does it benefit? Who's making money? It's the same thing as when we have hurricanes and storms. I recommend all of y'all, when you see Home Depot and Lowe's at its lowest point, buy it. There's companies that are never going out of business, but they always peak when there's hurricane season, tornado seasons. They always need them. Have some of that in your treasure chest, because we know the weather's never going to change. It's only going to get worse. Why aren't we owning some of that? You know, like really is just for y'all to think about what's going on in the world and how people benefit. Same thing with the defense stocks. How come we don't just have a few of them? There's a good one that pays a good dividend. Also in the real estate, I'm going to be bringing into our calls real estate funds, like real estate briefs. Like, we can really look at some funds that are a bunch of real estate. It's a portfolio of real estate that you can invest in, right? Because at the same token, we're investors looking to buy real estate, looking to transform our portfolio and looking to get multi-units and this and that. But we also have to think about this. Why don't I invest in the work that other people done already? I don't have to open up a Starbucks. I can invest in Starbucks. I don't need to open a theater. I want y'all to also have that money working on the side at the same time. The more you look at the news and you look at TV and you start to interpret the news differently, the more you're going to find yourself filling out finding those soft spots, finding those spots where there's money laying down and everybody's going, shh, don't tell nobody we over here getting money. You're going to be able to find those spots. So now with this climate, what's going on now with this war situation, I want y'all to look at the news coverage, and I want y'all to, I got to tread on water when you're talking about like this topic, right? People get real touchy when you talk about Muslims and Jews, especially one over the other. But I want y'all to look at the media coverage. I want y'all to look at who's covering whose side, who's talking about whose side more, you know, like who's the protest of for and against. And now, how does that work? How does that work on the land? How does that work on these people? Will people be displaced? And now if people are displaced, where are they going to be forced to move to? There's only one country out here taking everybody in. There's only one country taking everybody in. I want y'all to think about, for those of you that didn't see my post, Rich, I don't know if those the stocks we talking about with the defense. I want y'all to think about my post I put up. 2.8 million migrants into the United States. Almost 200,000 in New York alone. I want you to think about the baby boomers that's going to retire. You have about 4 million baby boomers that's going to retire now. The baby boomers gave birth to a generation of technology users. The baby boomers are a generation of people who work. Verizon, postal, firemen, garbage trucks. Like they work jobs, pensions. But they gave birth to entrepreneurs, people who want to start their own business, who are not going out to work. What does that do for the economy? You need people to work. Farmers gave birth to not farmers. They gave birth to technicians, technology-driven people. What's going to happen to that? You're going to need people in this country to replace by the year 2030, I think 2030, there will be about 15 to 20 million baby boomers retired. Who's going to work these jobs if we're not going to work them? How's the economy going to keep going? All of these people are going to be taking 401ks and their Social Security and pension. Like, it's not a coincidence that we had one person in office who wanted to close the borders. And you had everybody saying, no, we're going to let everybody in. He's no longer in office. You got this regime in office who were like, no, you can't close the borders. But now it's so many people coming in that they're literally saying it's too many people. Okay. So I'm trying to say it without saying it out loud. I hope y'all are getting it. Anybody getting it? Anybody getting it? Anybody getting it? Y'all getting it? So when all these 2 million people came here, 2.8 million, these 2.8 million people are going to need a place to live. Where are they going to live at? They need a place to live. So what that's going to do? The United States has to create a new form of housing to house these people. It can't be Section 8. It can't be HARP. It can't be these other programs. You're going to have 2 million people. Look at the hotels. What's going on? Expensive hotels. Recently, they just had a school where they took over the kids' gymnasiums to house migrants. Neighborhoods. They're going to need a housing program. Who just bought up a lot of housing? I mentioned to you guys before. Think about who went around buying tons of houses, and we were saying they're overpaying for these houses. Hedge funds, Wall Street, programs. These are going to be it. When the government says we need 1 million houses, are they going to reach out to us? We don't have 1 million houses laying around. Who could they reach out to and say, we want to pay you this amount of money to house these people, and we're going to pay you more than the average rent? Yeah, we're going to be able, as renters and owners, to be able to capitalize when they reach out to say they want individuals to now house these people. They're already talking about offering you an extra $750. Programs will be the new way of the world because the United States needs people here to take over the jobs that's going to be misplaced, and they need to house these people. It's not going to be people with good jobs paying rent. Like, that's not going to be the attractive thing. It's going to be strictly programs. You're going to have a job and they're going to be like, well, I'd rather have somebody that's in a program. I know I'm going to get that money guaranteed. So you as investors need to start thinking about buying properties and have them in programs. Section 8, other things, like start getting used to doing those programs. Those are going to be the money makers. They're purposefully going to offer more money to give you more rent for those than the average rent. Because you cannot, let's look around at the homelessness situation going around. Just California alone. You think that's going to keep going? Now you add all the hundreds of thousands of migrants on top of Skid Row and what California looks like now. That's a disaster. They have to house these people. They have to house everybody. I want y'all to take advantage of that and start thinking about land, housing programs, becoming investors. And now these real estate funds as an investor, and I'm going to pick a few funds that we're going to start monitoring to invest in funds, because they're going to start going on the uptick. The more that there's the shortage of housing, that there isn't any. Now people who are not going to be able to buy real estate are going to say, well, I'm just going to invest in a fund, a real estate fund. that has houses in it already, because there's not going to be that many out there. So the mindset of that I want to get y'all on this mindset is like, how do I start taking my money out the bank when it's not working for me? Those that are on the call, you know the financial diet we talked about. I want y'all to like, you look at my bank account, you be like, yo, Storm got a couple of $1,000s. I need my money working. All my money's invested. Every time invested in. I don't care if it's in something I'm going to take it out in a little while. Like today, I just put a bunch of money into, I bought some more Google and I bought some more Meta, like just me personally, no advice, and put it into a couple things because I said, you know what, when I'm ready to use it, I'll take it out. But I always put a stop loss on it. But don't have your money just sitting in the bank when you really can have it making you some money. So I want you guys, if you have questions, I want you to throw your hands up. I want this to be a free talking space. Monday Mindsets is not about me just talking. It's about you guys throwing out your opinions, telling me what you think, what you've heard, what you feel, because I need this to be a group conversation because we spark each other. Like I want to spark you to have a thought. I want to spark you to have something to say. I want to spark you to get engaged and get involved in a conversation. You can unmute Stefan. Sharon, you got something you want to throw in? Stefan, you can unmute and talk to me. Oh, you can't unmute? Yeah, you guys hit the unmute. Nobody can unmute? Let me see. Allow. Oh, that's my fault. That's my fault. There you go. Try it now, everybody. Try it now.
All right, good. Okay.
There you go.
I'm trying. It keeps on telling me no, you can't. So my question is in regards to the 2.8 million migrants and more migrants that potentially could come along. So I live in Houston, and so those are one of the major cities that usually are like those asylum seeking cities here in the Texas area. I know our governor kind of tries to kick people out, but Houston is very liberal compared to the rest of Texas. And so they kind of go back and forth with our government. But anyways, whether it be Houston or any of the other major cities, what areas should we be looking at in regards to housing for these potential migrants? Are we looking in D-class neighborhoods, or are we or low C's? Like what areas are we looking at? That we
right.
should
just my opinion. Just my opinion. They're not going to put them in the B class. The B class are not going to be going for right now. They're putting them in A's and B's in areas where these hotels and places where people are paying good money. But is that going to last? I don't see it. I see them really going into the C class and D class areas, and also pushing people out who are currently there now and creating new ghettos. But I don't like to use the word ghettos, like new urban areas, which I told you about before, in my opinion. But definitely, I wouldn't purposely buy in an area where I'm losing money. Like, don't ever look at it like that. I want you to just look at having a place that's program ready. So when these programs open, and I want y'all to like Google this about them starting to be ready to pay landlords an extra $750 and start taking regular, state Section 8 in programs. So many people got screwed over from people with jobs, renting, who stopped paying rent, that it ain't even cool no more. Like, I had a property, I just sold a property, and the reason why I sold it because my Section 8 tenant moved out, been there for years. And it's been taking a while for them to come out, do an inspection, get another Section 8 tenant. I said, I'm not doing this again because I had one of my Section 8 tenant died. We put a new tenant in there because Section 8, we couldn't get it because it was taking so long to actually get it certified. So we get a new tenant in, good job. Tenant paid rent for 2 months. Stopped paying rent on the third month. Took them to court, landlord-friendly state. We could get them out within 6 weeks. 6 weeks, courts was like, they evicted, they got to go. But the problem is the sheriff departments are backed up for 9 months to a year. And they know this. They knew it. So I was stuck with them in there for 10 months paying me no rent in a landlord-friendly state. So once my next property, a Section 8 tenant, got married, she moved or whatever, I said to myself, do I want to take that chance again? I bought this property for $43,000. They're offering me $101,000. I sold the property and walked away with a profit. Because I don't want, and now I'm going to take that money and invest in something else now. But the key is, I didn't want to deal with a regular tenant no more. And I'm quite sure I'm not the only landlord who feels this way, where I don't want to, even if you got a job, I don't want to deal with you. Unless you coming from another state and you don't know the laws of the state and you ain't come here to play the game. You know, one of my biggest things was renting to tenants who are new to the state, who just got a job. And now they're coming here to work and they don't know the system. So they're not coming here to try to delay their money. But that's what I would say, Stefan. Just start getting into the program of getting houses with programs and start developing your mind how programs work. And Stefan, like I said, I want you to Google it, bonus payments for Section 8 landlords. And you'll see they want to start paying extra money for you to be a Section 8 landlord. All right? Cool. Dana Dane.
Hey, good evening, everybody. A couple of questions for you. One, so just listening to what you just said, is there a state that you would recommend doing Section 8 in? Or would you just say, hey, I don't know.
Every state I recommend Section 8, right? But what I want you always to do, I want you to be the ultimate thinker. I just want to give you something to make you think and not be the person to give you all the answers, right? Especially on like today. Today is an open forum conversation. Like I just want us to like kick it, talk, and help each other like trigger thoughts and not say, okay, I want to see what Storm says and then ask Storm, like, let me know what your thoughts could be on this good state. Because maybe you'll figure out that if New York, they just had, I think, an extra 120 something people so far in New York alone, in LA, which is overcrowded, which places, and go, you know what? Let me figure out something here. Maybe this is good. This would be, but I would always say, anywhere where the math makes sense, I'm going to get me some real estate in that state, especially a program. Like,
yeah, I did a Section 8 in Philadelphia before, a couple, but I wasn't a fan of it just simply because I don't know, I wasn't living in the state, and even though I had someone that could go and walk with the Section 8 people, it seemed like every inspection it was something different. So I don't know. I was just like, how, and I even asked them, I said, well, how is it that what you're talking about never came up on a previous inspection? And an inspector would say, oh, that's because I didn't do the inspection. The other person just didn't do their job. And that happened 3 times. And after the 3rd time, I was like, you know what? I'm spending more money having a Section 8 person than I would just a regular tenant. So I'm not doing this anymore.
You know what's so profound about what she said? This is why, like, for me, it's like listening to other people's story that tells the story of where everything is going. Think about now when they need to house migrants in this new program, how they're going to be so lenient. They're not going to be talking about the plate on the wall. Because I have people with Section 8 going, oh, you need to change that light plate on the wall. And, you know, the when you replace the light fixture, you know how you still see the little paint mark from the other one? You might have put a round one and it was a square one. And they go, oh, that can't be like that. Little dumb stuff.
Exactly.
Like they're making it, I'm telling you, they're going to make it where it's going to be a different ball game when they got to place them. So now that's, I still wouldn't give up on programs. Definitely Philadelphia has been rough. I have a friend who's like, yo, he's not thinking about doing no more affordable housing with the programs like that because Philadelphia has been a pain with getting things approved. But won't these migrants tear up? Nah, see, Lessa, here's another thing, right? Dana, I appreciate that. Are we good? You want some more?
Nah, I'm good. I'll let other people go. It's fine. We only got an hour.
Right, probably less than that, man. Y'all ain't gonna have me hours on these Thursdays. Sharon, give me a smile on your face. But I want to tap this.
I would give you a smile, but you caused so much anxiety for me today. You know, No, seriously, I was canceled. I got an email saying I'm canceled from the Zoom. So I need to know, is it because of my membership that I have to renew?
Let me share something with you. As long as you here with me and you see me smiling, as long as you know my personality and how I am, any email you get, you should say, let me just reply and see. I don't make nothing rough for us. And what I don't want nobody to do is feel like there's nothing that can't be solved.
Okay.
Every day we go through enough where an email shouldn't be the trigger. The source is something else. The email just help you feel this way.
Okay.
See what I mean? Like our success and our life are headed towards a trajectory of a point. That's what we want, right? But we have to realize those two are so far apart. And I want you to think about the point of success in your life where they need to meet and how far apart things are when we first start. You actually have pyramid. The more you strive to go to that top, the more you're going to realize you're going to need to eliminate a lot of stuff down here. I'm just going to say Sharon, but I'm talking to everybody. Like things that frustrate you, people that frustrate you, because you'll never be able to reach here if you have all those other things that just keep you apart, that just keeps your success away from, like it's right here, but you can't get to it because other things are frustrating us, other people, other phone calls, other text messages. Like the email wasn't the set off because you know our group. Like this means, everybody know how I feel about my group. So like, let me send a message and find out what's going on and they're going to get back to me. Sharon, don't you be on these calls with that face again. I don't ever want to see you look like that. I need to smile.
Okay.
Did you reply to the email?
No, I didn't. I said, let me get on this.
Oh, there we go. See, you didn't even reply. Reply to that email. Let's get an answer and we good.
Okay. Okay.
All right?
Okay, good.
Now, you got a question or you wanted to tell me about that email?
No, basically, I would like.
You hit the mute.
Because I want to get on board with
You good?
With purchasing a home.
Okay. All right. So that's going to be all our Thursday calls, right? Purchasing and stuff. What I really want y'all to do, like I said, I want y'all to I want y'all mics open. I just want y'all thoughts, conversation, because I need to spark you. I don't want you to wait till Thursday to hear what I have to say or what Jeff have to say. I want y'all to always be thinking every day like how I think. Every day I'm thinking about a win. Every day I'm thinking about how to make sure these 2 points meet. My success and my life need to meet. Like every day it needs to meet. Like how are we getting there, Sharon? How are we getting there? How are we getting there, Joy? Is it the information? Is it the course? Is it the knowledge? Is it the people I'm around who I'm talking to? Like that's what it has to be. And not just on Thursdays. Not just Thursday. When we get on these calls, I want y'all to be like, oh, guess what I read? Or this is some information I got to spark us. All right, Sharon?
Okay.
I see you remind me of my sister, Ekoya. So much is crazy. All right, Sharon, I'm going to talk to you later.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
Okay.
Let me get some people up here. David, Mr. Rollins, let me get up here. Manny, what's on your mind? What's on this Mindset Monday? Let's go. Let me get my Mindset Monday energy going. What we doing? What we've been thinking about? What we've been doing? What has our mind have been thinking about outside the box? Outside of buying the property? What have the thoughts have been? What have you seen around you that you know is like, yo, the government's up to something. The areas are changing. Money is changing. We know there's the new 5% down going on. What has been the strategy? Has anybody came up with a strategy on how to turn that into a legacy? Because I did. I'm just waiting for somebody else to tell me about it. What's going on?
Well, good evening, everybody. It's funny that you mentioned REITs because I just discovered them last week and I was doing some homework on them. And I was going to mention that to you. I invested in a couple of them. I'm going to tell you about a couple of hot ones right now.
And what made you invest in them? Because now that's exactly what, you know, well, you heard the conversation. So what leads you in that direction?
Well, because they're strong, strong companies, strong stocks of commercial properties of, like, say, Amazon warehouses. They're owned by Prologis. I didn't get to do that one yet, but so Amazon rents all their warehouses from Prologis. So Amazon's not going anywhere.
There you
So,
go.
you know, and then you got Simon. Simon rents all the malls they control all the malls. Then you got Realty Income. It's like mind blowing. There's so many different things. You know, you got the amusement parks, you got hotels, you got hospitals. Hospitals not going
And you
anywhere.
can invest in those. You can invest in them, y'all. Like, so I love it. Give me just some
and then the best part is they pay you a dividend every month or every quarter.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. I was like, what? I can get passive income just by, you know,
Owning
investing.
a stock.
Exactly.
So owning real estate that's paying you out, that's a stock that somebody else is doing the work on. So it's literally like hands off. You know, we still buying real estate. Like we still gonna get land. We got a great guest coming up for our Thursday calls. So we still doing that. But at the same token, we're gonna make sure we buy those other things on the side to make sure we still keep our money moving. So now I love that talk, David.
So some of these stocks are down like 30%, 50% from highs of like $120 a share to down to like 50, 60, 70. So they're going to come back. You know what I mean? So if you look at the charts, like the past year or even the past 3 years, you see that these are strong stocks. They're down right now. As Tall Guy says, you got the September slump. You just gotta, you know, watch the tea leaves, so to speak. So a couple of them that I wanted to throw out there was WPC, Realty Income, Global Net Lease, and
put them in the chat. Put them in the chat so they can catch it.
All right, cool. I'll do that. But yeah,
type it in the chat. I see them trying to write, and I see a few of them trying to write. Put it in the chat.
Definitely. But it's definitely something to you know, put some money in and have some passive income.
I appreciate you, man. So
when they said dividends, that's what they had me.
That was it. Reinvest the dividends. So we got another. Well, Dave, you already know we got that good deal that we got going on cooking. We're going to be bringing that other deal to the table too. For those that missed out, for those of you that weren't here, missed out, and the other deal that we did, the multi-unit in Long Beach for 2.5, we almost finished the numbers for the next deal, and we're going to bring it to the community. This one's a $5 million apartment building, and we're all looking to get everybody in at an affordable, great number. And those of you that missed our call Thursday, rewatch the replay, please. Because we talked about the financial diet preparing us for January. So please watch the replay of last Thursday's call. It's very important for our January burst. All right. Dave, I appreciate you, my brother.
Absolutely, bro.
Hey, Storm, real quick. I just wanted to say I did miss the call on Thursday last week, but I did send a message in advance to say that I was going to miss the call. And I do appreciate the follow-up email, though, just saying, hey, we missed you on the call. So thanks for sending that out, too.
You know what I'm saying? We just want to make sure everybody know they missed. If you don't make the call, we watching everybody. If you missed the call, hey, sorry you missed the call, but watch that replay and come back to the next call. I prefer that you guys eventually, if you missed 3 or 4 calls, because I mentioned this to you guys before, in my early days, the reason why I started sending out emails, because I had someone that disappeared and I got worried about them. Come to find out that if I didn't check up, they actually, something happened to them. I want to get into their business. And I was able to reach out and they were able to let me know that something was going on. And in their life and something happened in their, how can I put it? They were in a relationship that was harmful, detrimental to them, and they didn't want them on the call. And they were able to say something in the email that were able to help them. So it's more than just us sending you that we missed you, but it's also a way of you to get that message and feel like help, literally. All right. So that's just my thing, you know. So Manny, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, man? He kind of took me away on the stocks because I've been seeing how stocks been going down low. I've been playing on a couple apps. I had tried Coinbase and Robinhood. Is there a certain stock app that you suggest, even though there's multiple, but is there anyone?
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna actually what I'm gonna give you some advice to watch. Did you see the tall guy tycoon call we did?
Yes.
Rewatch his call. Like I wouldn't dare tap into what he mentioned what's the best ones to use and what to look out for. Like David mentioned, he talked about the September drop. Like, you know, September for the last 4 years, we know September has always been like this.
Right.
Like for apps, there's several, but it depends on what you want to use it for. Like for me, I want to make sure what I'm really trying to do, and y'all gonna pick this up. I want to make these Mondays about y'all. I want to make it more about we exchanging information and talking as a group and what has happened since you was on the call Thursday. Like for me, it's been about what's going on with the war, Israel, Palestine, the war stocks. Why are they doing this now? How can I invest? The migrants that's coming in. Why is the New York mayor and the governor saying what they're saying? How come the programs have been so hard? Like all of this is just red flags to me that a change is about to come. When everything gets so chaotic, a change has to come. Where is it going to come from, and how are you going to take advantage of when they hit the switch as an investor to say, I saw that coming a mile away and I got in. Like when Netflix, I'm going back, was I think the stock was at $77 or $100 something at one time. But then when they got rid of the DVDs, the stock dropped down to $55. I'm like, what the hell of it? Because they was always known for mailing out DVDs. Once they got rid of it, the stock started dropping. And I said, that is insane because we know, it's going to streaming. Streaming is going to be streaming. So I would double down that hard on bought a couple of $1,000s worth of Netflix, and it went from $55 to $700. And then it split back down. So every one stock turned into 7 stocks. So it's just a matter of, I want y'all to have vision. I want y'all to be visionaries. I want y'all to be visionaries. You know, it's good to take the information, but the power is going to be when you can take the little bit that we're giving you and all the guests that I'm bringing you, and you could translate that and now come back and put that in a group as a win. Like, oh, have we thought about this? Have we thought about, like David, you should have been sharing all of them real estate funds, man. We got to share this stuff. I want y'all active in the chats. I want y'all active. Like if something comes up, you see it. All right. So I'm gonna give you a pass, but I need y'all. Like Cicely, I need you active. Rich, you are always active. Rich have some good ideas when he start talking, but I'd be like, I don't see him in the chat. Like, where they at? I need y'all to be. Just do what you normally do. Don't think you don't know everything, because I don't know everything, but we know enough to get started. The conversation can't start till somebody asks the first question. You know what I mean? So yeah, Manny, as far as the stocks, which one you get? Like I use Fidelity, and on my phone I use Fidelity and Coinbase with some Robinhood for options.
Okay.
That's me personally.
To me, it seemed like Robinhood is simple, so I'll probably stick with that.
Yeah. Keep it simple. Add water, stir. Y'all know what that is. Add water, stir. Don't ever overcomplicate the process. That's when you get lost.
Okay.
All right. Let me get Joy up here. I appreciate you. Joy.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. So I have a question about the REITs. We've been hearing a lot, or I've been hearing a lot about the kind of the collapse of the commercial real estate market and how, you know, all of these large office buildings are going, you know, but the large, you know, companies are going to
I love it.
go into foreclosure on some of these. Their, you know, their mortgages are coming up due, and they're going to, you know, be going into foreclosure with these large buildings and these empty office buildings and things like that. So, and then the malls as well. People aren't shopping in malls as much anymore. So some of the REITs, including like Simon, you know, who owns all the malls, like how are they really going to come back? And so I guess that's my question about the REITs is how does that affect those companies?
So here's the thing with now. This is a perfect example, y'all. Joy, you have great questions. Have you investigated doing some research to get answers to your questions?
Well, yes, and some yes and no. I mean,
Okay.
some of it.
Here's where I'm going. I don't want to make it sound lazy, right? I don't want to do that. What I'm saying is commercial properties, a lot of them, they're going to start transforming those into being rentals. Verizon has done that with some of its commercial. They literally start renting it out, converted to condos. They like, nope, people not working on these 2 floors, convert them to condos and sell them and rent them out. They making money. So you know how many other building owners are going to go, look, let's start converting this over. That's like literally, you have to think about the investment side of it being a real estate, that commercial turning into a mixed use. Half of the building turning commercial. Half of that turning residential, but they can't knock the building down. So they have to use it for something. So now how does that impact the reefs? I think the reefs will still exist because you have to think about what's in those. They're not doing it to those in The Big Short. The biggest problem was the A mortgages. The A's got mixed with B's, C's, and D's for those who watch The Big Short. Are they going to do that? No, that can't happen again. So are these commercial properties, these A's, what will happen? Yeah, I think they will do this. Me personally, will it collapse the commercial? I don't see it. You know why? Because they're going to need to house people. This is just my opinion. People are going to need housing. Mm-hmm. If you got a bunch of commercial buildings sitting here and they're not being rented, that's a prime space to start turning them over into apartments. Prime space, especially in places like the city where there's no land to start building on. That's just my opinion. I would definitely buy me some at the right price, and I would set a stop loss. But you have to think about getting in on the low. For example, AIG. If y'all remember when the market crashed and all I forgot all those other brokerage firms that crashed. When AIG was one of them, that stock used to be $1,000 and change. Barack Obama got on TV and said, we will not let this company crash. Once he said that, it was at $1.15. I said, I'm gonna buy me 1,000 shares of this thing that this man said they will not let crash. No, I need no research. President just said we're not letting it crash. That stock went back up to $25, back up to $55. It never made it back to its 1,000, but the key is I bought it at 1,000 just from what I heard. So what I'm saying is, if you bought something at its lowest price point, and you can put a stop loss to stop you from losing money, that's your biggest upside when everything does turn around. Because how long they're gonna let the second, you can say the first or the second biggest city in the world, New York and LA, stay driven with this much homelessness? How long this is gonna keep going before they step in and go, we gotta turn this around? And when it does turn around, guess how many people left? Guess how many people sold their homes? Guess how many companies are like, once it reached that, now what you're going to say is the 2 biggest cities in the world are now on sale. Did you get in when it was on sale, or are we going to wait till it comes back up? So my thing is, if I got $500, I can invest in something that's on its low, but I say when it turn around, it's going to go like that. I'm investing at $500. Like we can't wait to see things grow at times. We got to start getting in. Joy, I want to ask you a question.
Mhm.
Do you think Los Angeles could stay like this with its homelessness for like 5 more years or 7 more years? Like, do you think it can sustain with all these homeless and now these? Could this
No.
keep going?
Not forever, no.
No, that something has to change. You're talking about places with the most highest rent, some of the most expensive rent, New York and LA. People paying all this money. Are these two states scared that the people spending this kind of money are going to move?
Mm-hmm.
Are going to leave, and now all that money is leaving with them? Are they going to go, we got to clean this up? Where are we going to put them? You see that commercial real estate over there? It has 1,000 offices we can convert. You see this one over here? We can convert that. You see this land over here and these prefab homes all they showing a Home Depot, Walmart. We can get some land back there. We can put some prefabs, and we're going to create a special housing program where the federal government pays their rent. That's just my opinion. There's no way. I don't know if y'all remember going back this far. Remember when 42nd Street in New York City was full of prostitution? It was the slums. It was drug selling. It was, people, even if you've never been to New York City, you heard about this. It ain't like that no more. That's a multi-billion-dollar empire. Disney, everything you name, Lion King, all of them plays right on that same block. So what I'm saying is, you better catch 42nd Street when it's at 42nd Street, the slums. Because when the turnaround come, you're going to be like, dang, if only I would have bought $500 worth. If only I would have bought $1,000. That's the story of a lot of our lives, though, including me. If I would have only did, I want us from this moment on, get away from, if I would have only, and replace that with, I'm glad I did. Can we all make a pact? A solemn pact with each other. We're no longer going to say, if I only, and say, I'm glad I did. So Joy, if you feel there's some things there in place and you feel like the turnaround is coming and things can't go the way it's looking, put 500 on it.
Mm-hmm.
If your 500 don't grow, I give you the 500 back, but I need you to put 500 on it.
Okay. We're recording this, right?
Yeah, because I know that 500 is gonna pay off. Like, I know what we get ready doing our Thursday calls and what I got coming in and the things that we got developing is gonna like blow people away when they see what we're doing. The deal we just did now, like that multi-unit we bought, that's play work to what we getting ready to do. Like what we getting ready to do now, come on, we get ready to kill it. Joy, we good?
We good, thank you.
Joy, so you know what I want y'all to do too when you have questions like that? Put that in our community chat. I wonder what's going to be, what's going to happen. I want, before I remove Joy off the screen, Joy, this is what I want. My sole purpose for Mondays, I want you to become the ultimate thinker so you can start hiring the ultimate doers. I don't want you to be a doer. I want you to say, oh, I need to dig a hole, but I don't want you to be the one reaching for the shovel. Who can I hire to dig the hole? Oh, I see what's going on. How many people really just thought about every time there's a tornado or a hurricane, what the Home Depot and Lowe's stocks do? Has anybody ever just said, man, yeah, they need lumber? Like, think about it. How many people think about war and how many stocks are defense funds with war? How many people thought about energy for the last few months has been going bananas? And it's like, why? Just little things I want y'all to think about as you watch the news. Don't look at the news as being, the news has been a scare tactic for a lot of us for years, right? I can tell you the news could be some of the worst thing to watch because it'll help you, it'll put you in your shell. You won't spend money, you won't invest, you won't buy real estate. The news have been telling us the ghettos have been the worst place to live, the killings, the this, the that. you could talk about you could talk about some of the places in like Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Little Rock, Jersey, like other hoods. Pick Compton, California. Pick any hood you want to, where the news tells you all day how people killing. But how come the properties went from 100 to 200 to 500 to 800 to 1.7? Bed-Stuy, $2 million properties in an area where when I bought it was 300,000. Why they keep telling you in the news not to buy, but everybody else is buying? Because these people get it. And I want us to get it. I want us to realize when the news is telling you how bad things are with war, how bad things are in the market, you should look at war and go, okay, there's money out there. I want y'all to look at those defense stocks that I'm gonna find them, but you can Google them yourself and just type in the defense stocks that doubled today as soon as that war started. And now I want y'all to say, how do I put some of this in my portfolio? War ain't going nowhere. War ain't going nowhere. So I just want to convert us into thinkers. So who got some stuff they want to interject on this Mindset Monday? Let me get y'all up here. I'll see y'all. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Talk to me.
I just wanted to make a comment when y'all were talking about the big commercial buildings and warehouses and stuff, that being converted to apartments and stuff. I've been working with Rasul. I'm on another mentorship and learning underwriting and stuff, and I've got connections with all of these brokers and commercial real estate sites. And you wouldn't believe how many offers they send us in our email. I get my email, and there's already projects there where they're selling land, they're selling office buildings and all kind of stuff. Nursing homes being sold, offering to be converted, already zoned for conversion. You can buy the land. If anybody's interested, I can send y'all a bunch of the commercial property sites. All you got to do is sign a confidentiality agreement, and they'll send you the information on them. You'll get so many loaded in your email, you won't be able to keep up with them.
Here's what. So give me your thoughts on it. They're selling and people are buying a lot, or they're selling to get out of it. Like what is the thing that your group are talking about commercial in the direction is going?
Well, with Rasul, what we're being taught is we're just interested in buying apartment complexes already. We're not doing anything like stuff being converted, conversions and stuff like that. But when y'all were talking about that, it popped into my head because I've seen it in the emails I get, because they not only send you apartments buildings, these brokers, they'll send you everything that,
numbers
stuff. So, I mean, if y'all are interested in maybe doing a conversion or something, I can send y'all some prospects that I come across.
Let's talk about it on Thursday. Let's do it on the real estate calls on Thursday and have a conversation about that. Because, I want y'all to, 2.8 million people came here this year. Where they gonna live? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they're not going to be sending them back. That's for sure.
They're not going back. All right. So I want y'all to, and I also want y'all to Google this. Thank you very much, Sterling. I appreciate you. Let's talk about that on Thursday.
All righty.
Sterling is a gem, y'all. That man works, man. I love it. Like, this is what I mean by thinking. So I want y'all to also think about this. Google how many baby boomers will retire by the year 2030. Their kids are not trying to do the same jobs. These baby boomer kids are not trying to work at the same jobs. Think how many jobs. There's another site you guys can look at. The unions are trying to find electricians and plumbers all day, begging for people to learn how to be electricians and plumbers. Because these generation they don't want to do that kind of work. They have a device in their hand where they can make money. They're looking at YouTube, people making money, Instagram, people making money. They want to be, they're not trying to do physical. But now you give people, here's something I want to give y'all, and I'm going to leave y'all with this. And I'm going to leave y'all with this, and I'm gone for real. I want y'all to think about how important it is for the first generation of a group of people that come here to be the first ones to get a college degree and a good job. I want you to think about how much it means to them to be the first of a generation to come to a country and say, I'm the first in my family to get a college degree. I'm the first in my family to open a business. I'm the first. Don't you know that all of them who are coming here now, they may not be the ones who make a lot of money, but they're the ones who are working to put their kids through college, to take on more college debt, which helps the economy. Now, we know what college debt does. To take on more college debt, because a lot of the children now are going, I don't need colleges. I don't need colleges to make money. I don't need college to build wealth. Migrants telling their kids, you need a college education. Now all of those kids are going to go to college and take that. Now when those kids graduate, what they going to do? Get into the workforce. They want to be the first one to college degree, a first one to graduate from here, a first one to open up a business, a first. See, all the first. But now what happens, you have the generation after the first, which now works less. I want y'all to go back on this. Think about the family. Think about our parents, what they went through. Like my parents came from the South. They had to do that. So it was on my generation to be the first coming from the South here to go to college, to get a job, to do that. You know, so my mother, my father, all our parents could go, he graduated and he got him a college degree and he got him a good job. He was the first one in our family to own the house. But now, think about my children. They're going like this. I don't need to buy a house. I don't really need to get a college degree. Like, you did all the hard work. Now I just need you. I just need you to give me your money. Or I need you to pass away so I can inherit the thing. You see how tricky that gets? Y'all putting what I'm, y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Y'all see, like you see the formula? The first generation comes here and work. Their kids go to college, pay for their college, go get a great job. That lasts for 30 years. College, work, job, company. And then when they have their kids and that first generation retire, their kids are going to be like our kids and go, man, listen, I ain't doing what you did. I just got to wait for you to pass away and give me everything. No, I'm watching that in real time. I do everything to make my mother, my father's in the Haiti boat, but make them proud. And now she can say, oh, my brother was the first one to do this. We had the first dentist in the family, the first one to do this, the first one to do that. But all our children who came from us being the first, they lazy. Not all, I'll take that back. But enough of them are like, I'm chilling. They might want to work hard, some of them, but then you have some that don't. So what I'm saying is the same formula is going to happen with them, where the country needs these millions of kids going back to college, taking all that debt. The country needs all those kids to go out there and work hard. The country needs them. All right. So, Kidella, yeah, I'm the first in my family. Also, yeah. All right, guys. Anybody Stefan, you got something you want to tap in? Or your hands up?
Yeah. I just wanted to put on everyone's radar. I've been recently looking into MTRs, their midterm rentals. You brought up a great point earlier that these baby boomers, they're about to retire, and they have all these pre-conditions, whether it be diabetes, heart conditions, et cetera, et cetera. And there's a shortage of registered nurses. And so you have a lot of these traveling nurses and hospitals, like they're on the back end trying to get these people to, more people into the nursing field. And so as we move along within the next 10 or so years, that particular space with MTRs, because it's fairly new, and you have, I know here in Texas, I don't know in other states, I've heard a little bit of rumblings in other states, but they're cutting down on those short-term rentals. But the great thing about MTRs is it's 30 days. It's a minimum of 30 days. So it falls into that happy median where it's not a short term, but it's not a long term. And then on top of that, you get more of the cash flow because these are traveling nurses. They're not messing up your place, et cetera, because they're They're at the hospital the majority of the time, right? And there's more traveling professionals, you know, as we move on, like you, going back to what you said, people are not working physically, they're working from home. And so they call them digital nomads. And so you're going to see a lot more of people just jumping from city to city to state. They're going to need somewhere to stay, but they're not trying to be there for an entire year. They 3, 6, 9 months. And so that's when you can push up the rents in those particular properties.
I love that because see, and I know I said I was going to tap out, but he got me, he hit a spark. This is why federal government is going to be offering you more money as a landlord to take the programs and not the regular rent from tenants. Airbnb was killing out here, but they like, nope, y'all messing everything up. We need, like, this Airbnb ruining the house market is not making it viable for people to want to rent to other tenants and stuff like that. So think about when they look back and go, why was people doing Airbnb? Because it's making more money. Okay, so if we offer more money, we can now get these other people in here and start renting these places out. Like anytime I pause, because I got to be careful, right? Like everything I say, I don't want people to be all ruffle any feathers. People get all sensitive and stuff. Nah, I'm done. Nope, I'm done. I ain't going there. Kidella, I'm gonna get out of here with Dana and Kidella, and that's it for me for the night. Let me get these two. They not getting me tonight, Joy. They ain't cutting me off. What's going on, ladies? Talk to me and we're gonna get out of here.
Go ahead, Kidella. I'll come on next. I already talked.
Oh, you good, Dana?
No, I was gonna let her go since I had already talked, but she's
Now
not
you
ready.
go ahead and I'll get her right behind you. We're gonna close out.
All right, real quick. One of the things I wanted to follow up with Stefan is I was looking into what do you call it? Loans for mortgages. And I was talking to a mortgage lender and I said, well, I'm trying to decide if I want to do a second home or an investment property. And she said, well, listen, if you say it's a second home, you can get better funding instead of saying it's an investment property. And you can always do like those midterm rentals, not where you actually rent your place out. But if because I go back and forth between states a lot. So she was like, if you want to do like a midterm rental and maybe have traveling nurses or something come in, you can do that, get a better rate. And then also you don't have to really worry about like doing leases with people. So that would be a better option now. And plus a lot of places where you can move to, they don't have restrictions on midterm like they do on short term, like Airbnb. So that would be a great option. And the interest rates are much better and you have more options. So I just wanted to put that out there for the group.
I love it. I'm gonna give you one thing I want you all to think about also while you want to think about doing short-term leasing. Make sure your property is up to code. It's not an additional bedroom. It's not something that's up to code. Because if somebody now says, well, I'm not leaving, and now you want to evict them, take them to court, all they have to do is say, it's not up to code. It's a lot of states. It's not up to code. Here's the violations. And you cannot do a proper eviction until you get everything up to code. And now they stuck in there until you get things up to code. So make sure when you do, it's a legal rental that you're renting out. All right. I want y'all to Google a case where now it's still going on for about 2 years. A lady rented out this big mansion for, I think, $10,000 Airbnb. She found out there were some violations on it. Of course, she probably looked ahead of time. Once she got in there, she stopped paying. He went to the courts, tried to kick her out, but she made it known there were violations. And they said, no, you got to fix the violations before you can evict her out. And the state had a law where you were there a certain amount of time. And it's a big mansion. She's in there chilling. And now she's not letting them in to fix the violations. So now people study the game. This is why I'm telling you, programs are gonna rule the world. People go around, there are chat groups and forums on how to stay on somebody else's property. I repeat, chat rooms, groups, and forums on how to stay on somebody else's property. Kidella and Henry, what's going on? We definitely ended on y'all. That's it.
Professional tenants.
Yeah.
talking about that forum stuff that you just mentioned is when I found out about the squatters' rights and how people, once they figure out a way to get mail sent to a property that you may not, frequently visit. And once they can get the mail delivered to them for a certain amount of time, boom, now all of a sudden they got rights and they can take your property right out from under you. My mom was blown. That type of stuff is crazy to me, but people work that them all the time.
Professionals, this is why programs will run the world in a little bit. But go ahead, my brother.
Yeah. So what my mom was just thinking about this earlier when we were talking about different things to invest in, and it's networking. So somebody had mentioned about how people are staying home a lot more and just, like nomad business, I think he said it was. That people are going to need networking systems and data systems to be managed, maintained. So I'm thinking about just owning the company that sends those people out, the technicians, whatever, giving them places to stay or to take service trucks from or whatever, whether it's a lot, kind of like they station during FEMA events and whatnot, and they just stage the vehicles ready to go. Something like that, where maybe the techs live on the quarters or the property. They have their service trucks already in a maintenance yard or something like that, and they just boom, boom, leave out. And I don't want to do anything in the daily operations. That's not, but I
love it. Let me tell you, look up for those that remember the call. I'm gonna go to Bees. When we have Bees on the call, he gave you a site where you could look for businesses for sale. I would look for a networking and a communication business that somebody wants to sell, and I would start scoping it out. Yeah. I can't think of the site, y'all, but just contact Bees and get that site. But think about it. Baby boomers, Bees made it clear, baby boomers are selling their businesses and their children don't want to buy it. Don't want to buy it. So that means what you do, swoop in and start buying up. All right. So guys, it's been an honor, a pleasure to be with y'all on this Monday. I'm going to see how I hold up. We're doing these Monday calls because I promised to only make them 30 minutes, but y'all know I can't stop talking once we get on here. We're already way deep past 30 minutes. I want to thank y'all as usual for being here. Let me see. Can I get us with I need somebody to give us some good Monday theme music for our Monday Mindsets calls, right? Because I don't know what that's going to be yet. I'm just going around trying to figure out some good music. But I think I'll just play this one just for a little bit and send us out with this one. It's been an honor and a pleasure for y'all to be here. And as usual, remember to do what? Always seek knowledge. Have a good night. I can't play it that long because they're going to cut me off.